Finally time to fix the cracks and chips in my Mando armor. And I'm going to show you how I do it today on Darth Rage Reviews.
Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
Greetings, Force fans, and welcome to another episode of Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force. As always, business first, guys. Please hit that subscribe button down there, notification bell, so you're notified when I drop videos. I drop them all the time. Lots of cosplay stuff, lots of how-to cosplay stuff. There's lots of stuff in general, and it's all free. I'll give you a second. Please hit the stuff. Do the stuff. All right, so now to the fun stuff, guys. Today, we're talking about something I should have done a long time ago, which is repair my Mandalorian armor. So, you know, when you put this stuff on weekly for several months and you drop it, you end up getting things like this large crack that's in the side here. This is, you know, kind of hard to ignore anymore. There's parts that... Where's this one? Yeah, chip off on the bottom there. I don't know if you can see that, but that whole part chipped off there. Scratches, scrapes. So general repairs that I need to do on this. In addition, this piece is not supposed to be Beskar. This piece actually came from the droid in the kidnapping mission. That's where this thigh piece is from. So this is supposed to be a different color, and I'm going to go ahead and take care of that as well. So it's kind of got a Beskar-ish look to it, but it's a darker... It's a complicated process that I'm going to go through and finally go ahead and do on this piece. Also, I want to repair the fake leather pieces that I have. These, you know, I just kind of did a mock-up of this. I never intended to use this thing full time. So I'm going to go ahead and go through and make this a whole lot better as well. So fix that I've been meaning to do for a while. So how am I going to go about doing that? Well, it's with a lot of products that I already have. So obviously a lot of sandpaper, you know, this stuff I'm going to have to sand it down to go ahead and reapply the paint process. So the paint process is a gloss black or, you know, filler primer on the places that need a whole lot of work. Gloss black, and then a clear coat on top of that, and then graphite powder, and then another clear coat. So for this big crack here, I'm going to try to repair it with just a little super glue and then do some fiberglass resin on top of all of that, just to strengthen it and harden it. And then these pieces here, same thing. I'm just going to fiberglass resin that, maybe some Bondo spot putty, I'm not sure, to get in there and get that solidified. Fiberglass resin on the top. And there's also a crack in this one somewhere. Yeah, so this one's also cracked right there. Do the same thing on that. So it's going to be a fun process. Shouldn't be too difficult, but I'm going to walk you guys through the whole thing, and then I'll come back here afterwards and show you the process, or show you the finished product. So let's take a look at how I fix and repair all these little pieces, parts of my Mandalorian costume. We start with my trusty super glue and accelerant, just to get up the two big cracks. So I had a really big crack in the chest piece from where I dropped it, and also on the shoulder piece that has the insignia, and that was where I dropped that one as well. So yeah, super glue, accelerant, it really works well to kind of fix that and meld that very quickly. So I put that on both of those. Then I had to sand down where that crack was, just to make it so, you know, any of the Bondo fiberglass resin, filler primer, anything that I was using would make that a whole lot easier to cover up that crack, that split. Yeah, there's a whole lot of sanding in this repaint process. Spoiler alert. So yeah, sanded down both pieces. Then it's time to get the big chunk that was missing on my other shoulder piece. And for that, I'm using some Bondo Filler. So this is a little two-mix process. You mix it with accelerant stuff, and it hardens in about, 5 minutes or so. So I'm just kind of filling that in and trying to flatten it off as much as possible. I end up using that little plastic knife to help. And then I have to come back and sand that over. But yeah, it's not a hard process. Then it's time to mix up the fiberglass resin. This paints on, and I did this over both cracks, front and back, just to strengthen it so they would not, separate, break further. Yeah, this is a good product, and it dries in about 20 minutes. You do need to sand it all down afterwards, though, especially when you're doing Beskar like this. Next, I brought out the latex, liquid latex, to basically take my old Beskar plate and then cover it up. I'm basically painting where the Beskar is going to shine through, and I'm going to paint that over with some charcoal gray, like a metallic charcoal gray, just to make it a little bit more accurate. It's not 100% movie accurate, but it'll make it slightly closer to what it's supposed to be. A little couple coats of that spray paint, and that whole process was done. Just peeled off the liquid latex to reveal that Beskar underneath, and it looks all right, if you ask me. Looks all right. And I had to come back through and sand down all the pieces that I was going to repaint in that Beskar process. So I went through and did a whole lot of sanding, kind of, started at a 100 on these pieces that had the fiberglass resin, moved up to 220, a 400, and eventually an 800, just to get it nice and smooth for the Beskar paint process. You want this, any blemish that you have on there is going to show really, really, really easily. So had to go through and re-sand everything. I've heard it said before, I've said it before, we have a sanding hobby, and we end up with some really neat props after all is said and done. So yeah, lots of sanding. Luckily I'm not going to show you the entire sanding process. It's not that fun. Next up, paint. We get to get that gloss black, and I'm doing this again, lots of thin layers. Lots of thin layers. Take your time, guys. I know it's when you get to the painting process, you really want to rush through. You're almost there, but take your time. I've been spoiled so many times just by trying to go a little bit too thick, too fast. Graphite Rub is next, guys. So this graphite powder is really easy. You just rub it on with kind of a cotton, it's a makeup swab that my wife and daughter have. I just steal them from her, or from both of them, actually. Rub this graphite powder on. It turns that gloss black into a shiny, shiny Beskar. It's super cool. I love this process. It's a really rewarding, satisfying process. It is very messy. I'd recommend wearing gloves. It's basically like pencil shavings that you're rubbing all over this graphite powder. Yeah, so get this onto every single piece, and then it was time for the final step, which is the clear coat. I hate clear coat. I've had problems with clear coat. Yeah, so yeah, I even did the pieces that I didn't need to do just because I wanted it to kind of all match. I felt like if I did it all together, it would match better. So yeah. Then the clear coat process. Sorry, I just want to talk about it because I'm not going to show a whole lot of it. I hate clear coat. I do it in very, very, very thin layers, and even then I still sometimes get problems with orange peel. Yeah, I know I'm probably holding it a little bit too close there. But yeah, clear coat and me don't get along. That's how I did it, guys. That is how I did it. First off, I know a little more facial hair. The mannequin in the back changed. My hair may be different. It's all to denote a time change. So, anyway, that's how I did it, guys. So, a couple things that I didn't show you. I tried the clear coat on top of the gloss black. I did it on one piece first. It was the small thigh piece, and I got a really bad orange peel on that and had to kind of remove everything and go back to the beginning on that piece. So I decided not to do the clear coat on top of the gloss black. The gloss black was shiny enough, and I just skipped that step and just went with clear coat on top of the graphite. Clear coat and me do not always get along. It's probably the one paint that I have the hardest problems with. I think a lot of people experience that. It's very fickle, and you got to be really, really kind of, light coats, very light coats. So even on the final pieces, I still got a little bit of orange peel, excuse me, on a couple of the pieces. Had to sand those down and restart. And again, I never really showed that part. When that happens, I get frustrated and I don't want to bring the camera out and record all that. I really should start to show it because these mistakes happen all the time, and you always learn a little bit of something when you're kind of fixing those mistakes. So it's my vow to you in the future is that I'll record those mistakes and kind of fess up to it and show you what I do to fix it. So but let's take a little bit of a closer look at the pieces that I had to fix. So I don't know if you can see here, this is where that crack was, and I've mostly covered it up. I mean, you can still kind of tell on certain angles that it was there, but yeah, that piece good and covered. The other big crack I had was on this one, and you can see here is where it was, but yeah, you can't really see much of anything on that either. So another good job of covering that up. I think I did a good job on both those. Another piece that I adjusted that I hadn't really done right in the past is the other thigh piece. So I've got this kind of painted up correctly with like a dark metallic charcoal paint with chips of shinier Beskar-like metal kind of shining through. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with the results of this. I'm glad that I finally went ahead and did it, so I'll stop seeing that crack in the armor on the videos that I post. But yeah, it's something that I'd been putting off for a long time. I also went ahead and got the hip plates straps kind of glued into place so I can just slip them on the belt. I don't have to wrap them around the way that I was doing it. Fixed both the leg greaves, the leather pieces on there just to make them fit better. Fixed the bullets that I had on the right leg greave. So did a little bit of work on everything, and I'm really excited to kind of pull this back out this week and put it on and see what it looks like all together. But yeah, let me know, guys, in the comments, what do you think of what I've done here? My final Beskar repaint. Slight problems, but fixed all of them, and I'm very, very happy with the results. Oh yeah, let me show you one other thing real quick. I didn't show this at all because I've done four videos on these, but in addition to the new Beskar armor, my boy Elvis at the Mandalorian also sent me a Mando helmet, which I've done as well. So now I finally got a Mando helmet that will match my Mando armor, and I can stop using that silly black series that I've got there. So yes, this one as well. So again, look for these coming soon to a video theater near you. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and comment. Let me know what you want to see out there, and I will do my best to do it. As always, I'm Darth Rage. This is Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.